feel like we all kind of knew that this day would come at some point. It could have happened 2 years ago. It could have happened last year. And I'm not shocked that it happened today. It could have happened next year. I am not surprised at the news that we're about to tell the people. John Wall of the Washington Wizards has demanded a trade. He wants out of Washington. Now, let me just kind of break down this timeline really, really quickly to you guys on what's going on with John Wall. He missed all of last season. A year and a half ago, John Wall, almost 2 years ago, John Wall, he injured his knee. And then, according to John Wall, which I don't believe this story one bit, John Wall said he was at his crib, he slipped and fell, and he tore his Achilles. I don't believe that one bit. Who knows what the heck John Wall was doing to tear his Achilles? He's been missed essentially 2 years for the Wizards. In that time frame, as Wall has been unavailable for his team, Bradley Beal has stepped up. Now, he's been unable to get that team in the playoffs, but Bradley Beal is a guy that, he averaged 30 points last year. You know, he didn't make any All-NBA teams, but the brother averaged 30 points for the Wizards last year. He's kind of become their point guard in a lot of ways, and I think that team responds better to Bradley Beal at the point. Here's the problem with that. Bradley Beal can play the shooting guard. John Wall cannot. You have to have John Wall on the ball if he's there in Washington. You can't have him at the 2. So if John is there, he's the point guard. We know that. Now, what shocked John Wall reportedly was a few days ago when the Washington Wizards GM Tommy Shepard came out and said, we're building this team around Bradley Beal. That was a direct comment from Tommy, and I just don't understand why John Wall was shocked at a comment like that. You've missed the last 2 years, my brother. Time moves on. We're paying you upwards of $45 million a year, and we've essentially paid you that money with you not being available for the last year or so. That contract kicked in last year. We're paying you all that money and you're not available for your team, my brother. This is a what have you done for me lately type of business. And the fact that John Wall is shocked that the Wizards are moving on to a guy who not only does Bradley Beal seem to have a great personality, he seems to be a great guy in the locker room. He's available for your team. Your best ability is what? Availability. And Bradley Beal, more times than not, is available for that Wizards ball club. He's a better shooter than you. I don't understand how John Wall is shocked about the team putting their direction in Bradley Beal. That sounds like jealousy to me. And remember, I was a guy who said this on my platform a year ago when Bradley Beal opted to sign an extension in Washington. I said for the rest of his career, he's going to regret that move. I said that then, and it still rings true to me now. That was a mistake on Bradley Beal's part to re-sign an extension in Washington. Not because he didn't, he should have. He wants to be loyal to Washington. They took a chance on him out of Florida. But somebody needs to tell Bradley Beal that you were really good. A lot of teams would have took a chance on you had they been given the opportunity in the draft. I think Bradley Beal is an over-loyal guy. And my only concern was, you're going to re-sign an extension. Bradley Beal could have been a free agent this summer coming up. He could have been a free agent right alongside Giannis. And I think he made a mistake re-signing, I think it was a 2-year extension. That was a mistake from Bradley Beal. And behind the scenes, I'm sure he would admit that today. You took the leverage out of your hand, and you essentially, no matter what, let's say the Wizards go out and they trade John Wall, but it's for picks mostly. How does that help Bradley Beal win games tomorrow? It doesn't. Why would you put yourself in a position to have to deal with this mess for at least the next couple of years? Bradley Beal can't go demand a trade after watching John Wall do it. The Wizards not going to trade both of them guys. So this is a mess, and we'll see what happens with John Wall. I believe the Wizards are going to give John Wall the trade request he wants. I don't think the Rockets are going to trade Harden, but I think the Wizards are like, finally, this dude wants to be out of here. Good. We want him going anyway. He's been a mess. If they could get Russell Westbrook in return, I don't understand why the Wizards wouldn't do that move today. You got an unhappy guy in John Wall, and if John Wall's unhappy, my only concern with that is if he's unhappy, does that mean not only is he unhappy with himself? Is he not going to take care of his body? A lot of people believe over the last couple of years that was a problem with John Wall. He wasn't focused enough in taking care of his body. Also, is he jealous of Bradley Beal? You should be happy for your guy that team's saying that they're going to put the organization in his hands. Why are you not happy for your guy? Work your way back up to that spot where they trust you again. There's got to be trust on both sides, and clearly there is none. John Wall's asking for a trade out of Washington, And I believe the Wizards are going to move in the next couple of days. Do not be surprised if John Wall is traded to Houston for Russell Westbrook. I think it's a real possibility of that trade happening. Now here's the problem. You got two disgruntled stars in both Houston and Washington, in Russell Westbrook and John Wall, who both seemingly want out, but also everyone around the leagues know that they both want out. Who has the leverage? The Rockets with a disgruntled Westbrook or the Wizards with a disgruntled Wall? Who can get more than just the players straight up and down? Who's going to get a pick or two at their disposal in that trade? We will see. Super interesting news, day one of NBA Free Agency 2020. You got to stay locked and loaded with yours truly, Mr. Taliaferro. Make sure that notification button is turned on if you have not done so. I thank you guys so much for the time, love, support. I'm going to get back to my phone here as news continues to break throughout the night. I'm out.